Hello.
Hey,
Hello. Give me 1 second, Samos. I cannot hear you. Let's do my audio settings 1 second.
Hi guys.
Hello, hello.
hey,
Hi.
hello.
Let's give it just a few minutes so everyone joins. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Jack. Hi, Samos.
Oh yeah.
Can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, Mr. Sebastian, we can hear you.
I am
Now?
horribly sorry. I've been waiting in the wrong call. I had a Google Meet link and I was like, where is everybody? Nobody in here.
Okay. Well, it's always the case with these webinars. Some things work well, some things don't work. But the good news is we all are here. So that's the good stuff. Radio. So,
Is the meeting live already?
yes, it
I'm
is.
horribly sorry for being in the wrong call before.
No. It's okay. Right. So, let me make a start first of all. And first of all, I'd like to thank everyone who's been on this call today. Now, hopefully, you're going to learn a thing or two on our webinar today on the playbook of unlocking sales in the UK, EU, and beyond. So, thank you everybody for attending. I see some fireflies. I see some otter. I see some note taking. I see some people who are live, etc. So it's good to see we've got a few people here. So let's make a start. I'm gonna start by sharing my screen, and then I'm gonna go through after my quick 10-minute presentation, and I hope everyone just tries to stick to 10 minutes. Ideally, I'm gonna move to Stephanie. I'm then gonna move to and then I'm gonna move to Sebastian. So let me make a start and let me know, guys, when you can see my screen. Now, for the audience, if you have any questions, please do submit it. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to go through the Q&A. So let me just go through this. Ooh. So you should be able to see my screen, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. Great. And then it's the PowerPoint presentation, right?
Yes.
Perfecto. Rightio. So let me make a start here. Let me just bring all these things. Perfect. So today I'd like to talk on the topic of selling beyond borders, mastering Amazon in the UK, EU, and beyond. Now, this is obviously a 10-minute presentation, so I could go on this for a very long time, but I'm just going to go for some welcome introductions, why to expand to the EU, some of the big challenges, strategies for success, a real case study. If we have time, I'm going to go through something like that, and then some final tips. For those who are not aware, I'm Alex. I'm the owner of Lezat. We basically help a lot with Amazon and growing sales, the full service agency, and we've helped quite a lot of companies expand from USA over to UK and EU, from UK to Europe. And I've also been selling on Amazon for 8 years in Europe, USA, and UK. So I know a thing or two when it comes to selling on Amazon. Now, obviously, I've talked to a lot of webinars and topics around this, but for the purposes of this, people on this call, we've had 2 more series in the past where you can learn a bit more about avoiding common pitfalls on expanding on Amazon EU and how to, what you should expect basically when expanding to Amazon EU, which is again 10 minutes, but a lot of value and a lot of value from other partners as well. So I highly recommend people who are interested in expanding from UK to Europe or from UK to USA or from USA to Europe, etc., to spend those minutes. It's going to be quite worthwhile. Who is this presentation for? So expanding into Europe is not for someone who is just starting on Amazon, is not someone who their product basically just launched on Amazon. It requires a lot of stock. It requires a lot of organization. It requires a lot of team effort, budget, plan, strategy. This has to be done correctly. And I'm sure a lot of the speakers on this call understand what I'm talking about, each person to their own expertise, etc. Every single thing has to be done professionally. You're launching, and you should think like you're launching a rocket. So you're doing it correctly. Obviously, there's support and a lot of smart people and professional people on this call as well to give their insight and bits. If you can do some of your things on yourself, great. If not, leave it to a professional to do it. It's very, very important. Now, you shouldn't be doing this if Amazon is not your full-time business or you have an aspiration to do this as a full-time business. If your product is not a good fit in USA, below 4.2 stars, I would say, as an average, don't really expand into Europe. There's no sense. Maybe you want to do a new iteration of a product or something else. You're going to put a lot of hard yards in, whoever it is. If it's a very big company, there's going to be a team. Even if you outsource the whole thing to someone else, there should be someone as a point of contact and at the beginning to be able to understand how things are going, progressing, onboarding, and so on. And obviously have enough stock to support. I cannot emphasize this enough. If restocking and not running out of stock is very important for USA, let's say, or for UK or for your local Amazon, when doing it globally, it's like 5 times more important, right? It takes longer times. You don't want to be out of stock. There's many things that go and get involved. Needless for me to say how Amazon is expanding in Europe throughout these years. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, etc. You can search this, etc. It's not rocket science. Again, needless for me to say, you see a lot of gray here, which this means opportunity, because it's just going to be growing there. We can all agree this. This is just Europe, obviously. One of the main reasons we all know why is don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it's very, very topical now with the Trump tariffs and so on. I tried to move this hammer a bit to the left with ChatGPT to make a point here. But realistically, if you're just selling right now in USA and nowhere else, you're panicking to try and diversify and continue your business as normal, right? So it's basic business hygiene, trying to have multiple streams of revenue if you have a good product and a good business, not just from one marketplace or just Amazon, really. So it is actually a case of business continuity. And business continuity, I like business continuity because it means your business is going to continue. Whereas if you just sell only Amazon, that's it, USA, you are having a very big risk. Maybe something happens, a trademark issue, a cease and desist, a patent. You might have an issue with your logistic partner or your factory. Whatever it is, your business cannot continue because it's just dependent on that one thing. That's why you want to diversify, not only Amazon, other marketplaces and Shopify, for example, but also marketplace is the same thing. Needless for me to say, business valuation goes up. As an Amazon seller, I'm always intrigued about what's the potential exit of my Amazon business. As an agency owner, I always like to tell that what we create and do for our clients can also be used elsewhere on their business. So it grows their value, whether it's video, images, translations, expansions, audits, whatever it is. And obviously diversifying your revenue, very, very important. So one of the most common challenges is obviously we come on the VAT element. There's a lot of solutions out there that can help you and support you with this. Very, very important to get some expertise on this, to know how would this look like? What is the plan? What do I do Q1? What do I do Q2, etc., etc. The logistics side, very important, where we hold stock, how much, when, how, etc. Localize your content. A lot of these details is covered on previous webinars, which is on our YouTube channel, so you can check those out. But I'm not going to go into a lot of details, but these are the main ones here that people are worrying usually. Localized content, very important, and obviously having stock. So if I'm going to be looking at doing some 10 strategies, for example, for success on Amazon EU, now I'm trying to change this guy from a French hat to a German dress, and etc., just to make it a bit more topical. I hope I got it right. It's a step-by-step process, okay? You do one step at a time. If that means you go to UK first, then next 6 months, you might look at EU, for example, but know what that means from a compliance, from a translation, from the VAT, etc. It means also go with a select group of products. Don't go with the whole range. I understand you might love your whole range. I get it, but start with something smaller. You'll be able to manage it better. You'll be able to grow it better. You're going to be able to know what is what. Look at your competitors in each marketplace. Buy their products. It's going to be the best money you spend. You're going to know what they do with their insert strategy, with the product. How good is it? Perceived value, all that stuff. Address your TAM, SAM, SOM. This is basic hygiene when it comes to business planning and forecasting. Your total addressable market, your segmented addressable market, segmented obtainable market. If this all sounds Chinese, stick it to ChatGPT, ask it to create a Guy Kawasaki VC presentation for you, for your product, and you'll see some of this stuff in there to help you. Have a launch plan in place. What would it look like? Don't expect to break even on batch number one. Rule of thumb, batch number one is about reviews and make sure that it sells. Batch number two, ideally, we break even. Batch number one can go by air. Batch two can go by sea. Batch three definitely is going to go by sea, and it's going to be for profit. Obviously, truck, depending what you source, or train might also be an option. I'm just giving some rule of thumbs here. Start your VAT early and compliance early. We have some people here on this call who know this way, way better than I do. They're going to talk about this important stuff. You're selling a product in multiple countries here. We don't want to mess with the law. We want to go according to the law. That's a less headache to have. Don't try and skip this. Know your prices. Get your FBA calculator, Amazon, other tools out there. How much is it going to cost me to ship from Germany to France? How much is it going to cost me to ship from Germany to Germany, etc., etc. Find what offline stores could potentially purchase your product. Very important. For example, we've had case studies of clients who launched on Amazon in Germany, France, Italy, Spain. We all call this EU4. Spain sales were going so-so. What did they do? They found a wholesaler in that region that they sell other products as well on Amazon, and they have other channels as well. So they gave exclusivity to that region, to that wholesaler. They already shipped to Germany, so why not? It was a win-win. So it's not just Amazon. You're opening a whole new chessboard, which is Amazon, your own Shopify. If you have, you can expand it there and do FBM listings, fulfilled by a merchant. And obviously other marketplaces, very, very important, and other distributors and so on. Allegro, eBay, Tesco, there's tools that can help you go there quickly. And obviously you can reuse your images. Adjust your PPC and keywords accordingly. I know this is a bit fast, but I'm just trying to keep it so people can take notes and understand what I'm talking about here. So obviously, there's Amazon is a patience game. Do it step correctly and enjoy the ride. Now, for those, just for these last 2 minutes here, for the case study that I mentioned, for example, a client of ours was selling on Amazon EU. 2 previous agencies were not able to grow their sales at all, not even past 4 figures a month in Germany, France, Italy, and Spain. Now, I'm not saying this because we are awesome or anything. It's just you need to actually look at each step correctly. So what was the keywords? Did they have localized video? Did they have localized infographic? A+ content? Did they have localized stock? Did they run out of stock? The stock was not updating, was linked to global and not local. So USA team would update it, German would get updated. So you have to break that linkage. Flat files. So there's a lot of things that go in. German listings should have German content and German localized content and keywords, to put it simple. As soon as that happens, you see conversion rates go up. You're talking about a factor of X3 in conversion rate. Sales, they didn't boom, but each month they're doubling, growing, and going somewhere fast to becoming break even and beyond. And this is just some basic stuff that actually, if you know what you're doing as a company, or you have the right partners, they can help you get there. Now, for those people who are listening to this, if they want an Amazon expansion plan, feel free to DM me on LinkedIn. I'll put a QR next here and show you what actually this would look like and if it's right for your business. So you can find all of this stuff here, or you can find my name on LinkedIn. I hope this was well. So in that said, I'm going to pass it on to the rest of the team where you can actually start and share your screen and we can make a start. Stephanie, I hope I got this right to the 10-minute mark. So over to you to share your information and what you guys are doing over at Barrows. Sorry, Stephanie, just to, yes, sorry. I think I don't hear
you. Can't hear me. That's
now
right.
I can hear you.
Because
Can
I still
everyone
have
else
my
hear
microphone
Stephanie?
muted.
Yeah,
No, you
everyone
should,
can hear
right?
Stephanie? Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex. I appreciate
Right.
it. Thanks
No
for
worries.
having me today, and thanks for joining the webinar. My name is
Perfecto.
Stephanie Walsh. I'm with Barrows International. We specialize in helping Amazon 1P vendors recover unjustified deductions and help them grow profitable in globally in the different Amazon marketplaces. I'll be talking about two major things. One, how to recover unjustified deductions, and the other one, how that recovery can help fund your global growth into new emerging Amazon markets, be it Germany, EU, whatever, UK, the US, Australia, Brazil. Let me share my screen. There we go. Hope you're able to see it. Unjustified deductions are a hidden profit killer. You can't scale profitably until you actually fix the hidden leaks in your current operations. You have to identify, dispute, and reclaim those unjustified deductions. I'm sure Amazon vendors, 1P vendors, are very familiar with them. Unjustified deductions, the most common types of shortage claims, where Amazon says that they didn't receive the full inventory that they shipped, that the vendor shipped, so they don't pay the full invoice. Price claims, where Amazon doesn't pay the full invoice price, so there's a price variance, they just pay the price that they decide. Chargebacks for supposed violations of shipping or labeling issues, and then co-op fees for marketing purposes, or placement fees that are sometimes overbilled. And some of these deductions are valid, but a lot of times they're not. And the Amazon system is not very transparent and easy, and they put the burden on the vendor to recover those. So obviously those leaks can cause issues to expand, to unlock sales in other areas. The impact on vendors can be between 2 to 10% of your total Amazon sales volume. So these deductions can obviously add up. You're eligible to retrieve them, but it's very time consuming, and it's worth, like, yeah, these claims, just, it's like a black hole. It never stops. There's just more and more coming. So it's ongoing. It's really like a full-time job. And the vendor central is not always correct. It is very slow to respond and is very inconsistent with the response. So if, for example, you're planning to expand in the UK or the EU, you're building demand, you're setting up compliance, and you're working on logistics. At the same time, Amazon is quietly taking 2 to 10% of your revenue through deductions. That will obviously make it impossible to be successful. So you can't really scale globally if you're bleeding profit locally. So for example, if you have a sales volume of about 10 million, between 100 to 500,000 are retrievable. And then if you retrieve that, you can reinvest it and grow top of the line in other markets as well. And then as well, obviously, as you grow and you expand in other markets, the issues will grow too. You'll have the logistics will be more complex in other countries. You'll have regulatory demands that will increase. And then those deductions won't go away. They will actually multiply. So the more you grow, the more you'll have to deal with them. And it's important to have a system in place to monitor them, to track them, and also to retrieve them for you, to help you grow top of the line. That's why recovering those revenues isn't just about fixing today, but it's about growing or funding tomorrow's growth. If, for example, like a case study, we worked with a client who was selling in the UK and in the US. They had about 250,000 a year in shortage claims that were invalid, and we helped them recover them for them. We disputed them for them and recovered 180,000 in the first 6 months. They were then in turn able to invest in the growth and growing their sales and reinvest, right? Why are these deductions happening? Amazon automates the process on their end. There's no human person behind it. So obviously, if the intake of product, of pallets, if anything, is not correct, if the labeling is not correct, then shortage claims happen very easily, and they can obviously add up really quick. Vendors then have to dispute them and get the documentation, everything, which they sometimes don't have. The visibility in the vendor central is not ideal. Not everything is shown, not all the shortage claims are shown. We just recently had a client again that we in our tool, in our platform, showed them a shortage claim on their end in Vendor Central. It actually showed it fully paid. And when we dug deeper, we were able to show them that that is in fact still an open shortage claim, a deduction that they can retrieve and recover, and we're able to recover that for them. And then obviously, as you grow into multiple marketplaces, it gets more complex and makes it, obviously there's more points of failure that can happen that can drain the resources to grow, that you need to grow. We have a global recovery solution at Bars International. We help Amazon 1P vendors audit their Vendor Central deductions. We give them more transparency and monitoring features in our tool. We offer them to dispute the filing and offer the documentation for it to recover these unjust VAT deductions. We make sure there's global compliance support. For every country, there's different rules, there's different timeframes that you can recover those deductions. So it's important to stay on the top of that. What works in the US doesn't necessarily work in Germany, where it's not available for as long in Germany. So it's important to stay on top of all these timelines. And then we also help with process optimization to prevent future deductions. We provide key information for shortage or price claim KPIs to help clients to avoid these pitfalls and leaks that happen, to help them unlock better margins, unlock inventory capital, unlock visibility, to help them really see deduction across all markets, and then give them confidence to expand internationally without the financial burden, because obviously you can't fix what you can't see. Our solution really gives that transparency, and it's critical to have the full transparency over payments and deductions, have a system in place to consistently recover all these unjust VAT deductions, and stop these leaks before they happen, so then you can invest in the future and in the growth into other markets as well. So I kept it pretty short and simple. If anyone has questions, they're welcome to reach out to me. I don't have a QR code, I guess, but I'm on LinkedIn, or you can find us online, barsintl.com. So feel free to reach out to us. We're doing free audits for all our clients to tell you, or to show you what your recovery potential is, and then we can design a strategy to move forward and recover those unjust VAT deductions to help you grow globally.
Perfect. Great. Stephanie, thank you very much for your presentation. No, absolutely. Recovering anything from Amazon really is very, very important. And especially when it comes to 1P, the numbers can be mind-boggling. So I can definitely testify that this is a service that it's needed 100% if you're doing 1P, and especially expanding abroad. It's going to just, it's going to just free up capital to do the expansion. Thank you very much for this. Right. Next, let's go. You are next, sir, from ASA Compliance Group.
Hello. Yes,
Hello.
indeed. Hello, everybody. I'm joining you today from Sofia. Just came back from a conference here today, spoke here 2 days ago in the Amazing Days event. It was amazing. And I gave quite a long lecture about many prevention strategies, about how to prevent getting suspended. And I thought about what to speak about today. And I decided to take one prevention strategy that I just spoke about and to extend it and to connect it to expansions to Europe. So I will give you that tips on how to prevent and be ahead of Amazon's enforcement. And therefore, I will also apologize for the possible low quality of video or microphone, since I'm from this lovely hotel in Sofia. So let's get started. Do you see my screen right now?
No, it says has started sharing. Double click to enter full screen mode. That's what we're seeing. So
Okay, let's see. Sorry for that. How about now?
Oh, wait, something came up. There you go.
Okay.
I think it's just, yeah, it's taking its time. understand.
Yes, I apologize for that.
It's okay.
It's a lovely hotel, but the internet connection is not so great. If the presentation won't work, or if you hear me a little bit bad, let me know. I will stop
Yes,
the
of course.
presentation and just
Absolutely.
speak to you. So let's get started. So as I said,
Sure.
we are going to talk about how to prevent getting suspended. So my name is Osha Mosh. I am from ASA Compliance Group, Amazon Sellers Appeal. Been around since 2016, providing appeal services to Amazon sellers, resolving suspensions. And today, as I said, we will talk about not how to resolve suspensions, but how to prevent them entirely, how not to be our clients at all. I also founded an Amazon aggregator, so we are selling at roughly $20 million a year. So I also know that side of being an Amazon seller. So there I see both sides of the party, also as a seller and as a suspended seller who's trying to resolve day-to-day issues. So what I wanted to talk about today is how we can address issues before they even happened, how we can prevent them. Basically, let's think of what happens when or before a suspension happens. If you have, and this is the example I gave in the event 2 days ago, if you have, for example, because it's very easy to understand, let's say you are an FBM seller and you have high cancellation rate and your warehouse, for example, is completely filled in and you know that you have delayed orders. You know that you are going to get suspended. What do? Let's say you're an FBA seller and you know that by mistake you sent a defective batch. You're going to get in 3 to 4 days tons of negative reviews, feedback, messages, returns, complaints, whatever it will be. Let's say that you are expanding to Europe. That's what we are here for. And you have invoice discrepancies, you have VAT issues, and I fully agree with what Alex just said about getting your VAT first, VAT. That's the first thing you got to do. You don't know how much trouble it's going to give you, and it will give you. It's a headache. So if you are deciding to expand to Europe, first thing, get that moving, get started, get that ongoing. Trust me, it will be the best choice you can make here. Worst case, stop in the middle. If you decide not to expand, it's okay. It's not too costly to start, but just get it going. So back to us. So we said another example about invoices, VAT issues, and so on. In Germany, you have, in French, you have the rich rules. In Germany, you have WEEE. Many different rules. If your product is a supplement, all of the sudden you are subject not to the FDA, but to the MHRA, and so on. So every place that you expand to has its own regulations. But what do you do if you aren't fully compliant yet, but you got it started, but you know that hopefully you know that you are subject to additional rules that you are not fully compliant with yet. What do? You just wait it out. You just wait for Amazon to suspend you, to warn you, or maybe you do something proactively. So my saying here is yes, do something proactively. Perhaps contact Amazon. And then we have some sort of a balance, how we contact them without alerting them of the issue, but getting them annotated internally so there won't be too many issues. So it's a game of balance. Okay, maybe they know, and now that we will notify them, the risk will go lower because they see that we are on it, or maybe perhaps they don't even know, and then all of a sudden, only now we are alerting them of it. So it's a game of balance. And what I do suggest is open a proactive case, explain the issue up front. Don't tell them, hey, please don't suspend me. Hey, please remove a violation. Just let them know in advance, as we said with the example of the FBM seller and high cancellation rate. Hey, Amazon, I have some issues. just the facts, don't apologize, don't go around and tell them multiple things. Hey, Amazon, I have an issue. I'm an FBM seller. My warehouse is having delays, cross-border shipment delays. The invoices for the border are not sufficient. I'm having 100 orders getting delayed in 3 days. Please annotate internally. That's it. What will happen? When there is an issue, Amazon can decide what to do with you. They can decide if to suspend you, to warn you, to let you go with a warning, to do nothing. They have many different options. And before they decide on what option to take, they will see the case that you opened because you're asking for it to be annotated internally. Remember, hey, Amazon, I have an issue. This is the issue. This is the extent of it. This is the time frame. Please annotate internally. And if Amazon will agree to do so, and then if the issue will happen, before the representative who decides what to do with you, suspend, let you go, and so on, he will see this annotation. And that's our goal here, because once he sees this, maybe, just maybe, we can't promise it, just maybe he will agree to let you off with a warning. That is our goal here. So just a few examples of this. As we said, with the FBM and FBA defected and so on, you have customs clearance issues. You have misleading side charts in Germany, and then all of a sudden you didn't translate it perfectly from inch to centimeters. Delivery failures in Italy, you didn't prepare well enough for all your decisions. This is just a few examples that you can anticipate for while expanding yourself to different European marketplaces. Because so far we sold in USA, we know USA, Canada maybe a little bit, Mexico and so on. And all of a sudden, what? I need to provide invoices to clients? What? Doesn't Amazon do it? I need to do it now. There are holidays in Italy, the custom border is working slower. Now it's my fault and I need to give answers about these FBM delays? Yes, you do. So once you will be familiar about it, you will work much better. But until you do, if you see all of the sudden issues starting to arise, go ahead and open that proactive case. Let Amazon know. Just be open with them and transparent. They will understand in most cases. Hey, Amazon, I just started to expand to Germany. I apologize. I didn't anticipate sufficient inventory or spike in orders. Just a note, I will have 20 orders being delayed in 5 days. Simple as that. It will help you avoid suspended. So again, same thing as we said, EU documents, we also talked about that. No matter what product you are selling, do check if you have different regulations. If you're selling electronics or medical devices, CE might be different. FDA to MHRA. If you are in, I don't know, Japan, it's the PDA, something like that. Each marketplace that you are selling on has different regulators. Make sure that you have sufficient documents for them as well. And again, don't ask for removals of any warnings, just annotate and clarify. It's not a report, I'm not accusing anyone, just annotate internally. Ensure that the human reviewer sees that, as we saw, if a later issue comes in. Certificates, custom holds for different inspections and so on. We already talked about these examples. Let's see what else. If we have buyer complaints, we also can ask Amazon to proactively annotate, hey, Amazon, maybe there is a different packaging between, let's say I'm selling this computer mouse, and it has a certain packaging in the USA, but in Germany, it's a completely different packaging because of language. So customers might complain that it's fake. It's not fake, it's just a different packaging. Let Amazon know. It will help you avoid getting suspended. Hey, Amazon, I just expanded by mistake. I sold it with a different packaging. Please know that we anticipate potential customer complaints. That's it. Simple as that. Honestly, it will help you. Keep it factual, as we said. No arguments, nothing, just facts. Let's see what else. We already talked about it. Don't ask for removal, already said it. Don't ask them, hey, please don't suspend me. I am a single mother working from home. I understand that. Amazon doesn't care. And yeah, that's it. If you need anything, you know where to find me. And thank you very much. Hopefully you won't be our clients and you will be able to avoid and prevent those issues in the start with. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect. Now, I've also put the LinkedIn of each person here on the chat so people can connect there. I know some have the QR, some don't have the QR, etc. So it's easy for people to connect and obviously connect with each speaker. Thank you very much for this presentation. A lot of insight there. Is definitely one of the top three, in my opinion, pains of selling on Amazon. The dreaded sort of violations and suppressed listings and listings go down and all of that stuff. It can definitely be a pain, and it's great to have companies like yours that were able to assist with such a burning matter. Right. So next person, perhaps Mr. Sebastian, if you can come along and shed some light from Signify product sourcing.
Great, thank you.
Share your screen.
Sure, I will. Thank you very much for. I'm the last presenter today. Is it right?
No, I think we have one more person. Jack.
True. Sorry, of course, Jack is still there. I was about to say, it's
yes,
like,
yes.
you guys now have to suffer. I'm gonna make it a 2-hour presentation. Of course not.
I love the background with all the events you've attended. I'm sure some of these we've probably crossed each other.
Oh, I'm quite sure we're like all connected. That's what I've seen here right now. And a few of the attendees, I mean, we know each other already. Or, by the way, great presentation. Everybody, great presentation so far. And I can just admit, yes, I mean, compliance is one of the big topics that also happens in product sourcing. I mean, make sure your products and your business is compliant. You will get screwed by Amazon, obviously, and or the governments and the authorities. And or, by the way, yes, German clients, I'm German, I'm allowed to say that myself. They will complain. We're world champions in complaining. We will complain. So let me start sharing my screen. I do have, of course, as usual, way too many slides, but I'm gonna rush through them. And the topic was of like the impact of sourcing on sales, right? Does it have any big impacts? Is it right now a great time to buy in China, specifically for Europeans? Those questions I will ask you answer here right now, and then I have a few more. Is it a great time actually to buy for Europeans in China? Well, yes, it is. There's currently like so many vessels on the at the moment, like turning around and going back to China or wherever they came from, because so many of the American clients right now are not buying or stopping and putting a hold on it. And China, especially China, also other countries, they have produced a lot. All of a sudden, they can't get rid of it. So what's going to happen is all those producers in those countries, they will reduce the cost or the sales price because they need to get rid of stock. So as well, also for Americans, it's not a bad time actually to buy, but the import tariffs, that's a different topic. For us in Germany or in Europe, we don't have those high anti-dumping tariffs. We don't have no Trump tariffs. Of course, we have anti-dumping tariffs against Chinese goods as well, but not as high. So high demand or low demand, high availability, I mean, go and negotiate. Does saving bring possibility? I think you'll see in profitability, obviously. A little bit of background, I'm gonna rush through. I don't know if you see the videos here as well. Who am I? Born 85, I'm gonna turn 40 this year. That's my much, much prettier and nicer, better half, my wife. We're both the co-founders of Signify. No kids, no pets, but 3 motorcycles. They call me serial entrepreneur. I would more call myself like shiny object victim. Got 2 own brands since 2011, sell on Amazon, sell on Shopify, but also in Germany, more than 1,000 big box retail stores. The biggest of our companies is Signify Global Product Sourcing. We help find manufacturers worldwide and reduce purchasing cost. We have another event company. I help others get into big box retail with another company. And we have a service provider network where it's just service providers, no sellers in there. So far, we've sourced more than 5,000 products, 50,000 suppliers work with, and saved more than $500 million in cost reduction. But we want to get to the topics of what's important, right? So if you imagine you would save, for example, 12% on a $100,000 order, that would mean you have like $1,000 more per month, which isn't that much to save. 12%. Our record is, you'll see it later, 96.5%, or actually the second part of the product, 100% cost savings. Sounds weird, it's possible. And if you have $1,000 more, I mean, what can you do? You can spend more money in advertising, right? Buy more products. Or of course, if you can save 20, 30, 40%, you can do even a lot more. Or take your better half out for a vacation or many, many nice dinners, or just have it and buy yourselves once a house or whatever your dream is. In terms of sales, if you reduce your purchasing cost and you have more money available to put into sales and marketing, I mean, just imagine that. You can get, where's the top left right now in the camera? Like here, I guess, or over here. You get this top one advertising spot that you need, for example, on Amazon or on Google. And you know what? You're going to be laughing about your competitors because you still stay profitable. They don't. So yes, reducing your purchasing cost. I mean, you probably heard the phrase, the real money is made in purchasing. I want to run through a few examples. I'm not going to go through the details, but that was a story like years ago already. We went from China to Vietnam because they already back then had 27% import tariffs. No, sorry, that was a different story. He was just finding a new supplier in Vietnam, 12% saved. First order was $500,000. That's $60,000 savings. That's $5,000 a month more on the same product with same or better quality. Imagine the money what you can do. Short story, what was done? Just look out for alternative producers. Find more producers. Find them in China. Find them in other countries. The more suppliers you look for, kick out any trading company that is in between there. Go from the source. Negotiate the price against one another. Always same or better quality. And there it was like 23 suppliers found, 12% savings. To be honest, that guy had real guts. Placing $500,000 order on the first order with a new supplier. But he was about to sell the business. He sold the business. I think 5.5 million was then the exit for him. So pretty penny. Actually also helps very often when before selling your business, when you optimize your margin, you can prove that you keep running it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Quality is okay. Imagine what's happening to your multiple. Your multiple is also increasing. Not only the revenue, not only the sales price is increasing, but also the multiple because your margin is higher. Same thing for buyers who buy brands. To, they look in the company and later knows like, will there be a possibility to reduce the purchasing cost? Yes, there will be. All right, this target of buying them is even more interesting to me. But of course, I'm not going to tell them that you can get the prices better for now. Next one, second one. That was the one, 0% import tariffs, where we had 27% import tariffs before. Long story short, $6 purchasing in China, $5 in Vietnam, 500,000 units a year sold. That's $500,000 on, I gotta rush through this here, $500,000 on the product and $810,000 just on the savings. Because $500,000 at $6, 500,000 units at $6, 3 million. That's $1.31 million on product number one. The other products we went later in and says there, total 9 products, $14 million saved per year. But that also goes, of course, for smaller clients. This one isn't so small. He built a business from zero in 3.5 years, from zero to about 24 million euros. In the first 8 months, we went in and reduced the purchasing cost by 1.4 million euros, $1.55 million. Profit before was $2.7 million. After that, $4.2 million. Same amount of selling. He's not selling a single unit more, but making more profit, 156% profit all of a sudden, by just changing the suppliers. Of course, same or better quality, super important. I'm gonna go through here, 60 suppliers, jars, bottles, pumps, lids from all different places. But also staying in China, for example, I hit the secret here already. When you find alternative producers and all of a sudden have the chance to show other potentials, that guy had $180,000, again, bigger seller, $180,000 purchasing every 2 months. We reduced it to $103,000. That's more than 40% savings on such big numbers. And here the secret was, it was the same supplier. Stayed with the same supplier, just show alternative potentials. Later on, he still went to another one who was still cheaper and produced fantastic quality. That's nearly $1 million more per year. I'm gonna quick through, what is it? 55 different suppliers. Also larger seller, but you can also imagine this in the small numbers. A product before, $3.58, now $1.15. Let me jump to my favorite one. And by the way, before he didn't have it packed, he didn't have it labeled, no pre-FBA labor was done, everything now included, and still cheaper. This is my favorite one. No, it's not. There must be another slide coming, or is it hidden? Here, this one. A product consisting out of two products, $4.80 for one, or for €1.80 it was actually bought inside the EU, and €1.20, so €6 in total, inside Europe. And then we looked at this and was like, dude, why don't you just open an own mold, for example, in China, and reduce it to 21 cents or 34 cents respectively when it was two parts. The second part of the product, zero. Now, here's a small hint for you. If you go out and do the negotiation and you have, for example, two products that are in two molds, the surprise to us was that the supplier put the second product into the same mold. And then Susie, one of our PMs, came back to me and was like, Sebastian, he didn't ask for a higher price. And I was like, Susie, then shut up, be quiet. He didn't ask for a single price on top. So 96.5%, now 21 cents instead of €6. Lots of savings in there. And here is a short, just an overview, like the potential. I think by this then I need to come to an end. I give many different presentations, or this one here is one of the ones that says usually those are the 4.5 steps, for example, to optimize your own profit within your Amazon business between 30 to 200%. If you just imagine $1 million revenue per year, 10% profitability means you make 100% profit. Now, if we assume 20% purchasing cost, which is a typical way of your revenue. So if you reduce your 10%, your $200,000 purchasing, that's $20,000. That's an additional 20% of the 100K you make in total. If you achieve 30%, you could save 60,000, which is another 60% growth already on this. But now a few more things. Reimbursements, like Atida, 1 to 3% annual revenue, you could gain another 10 to 30%. PPC optimization, get rid of those killer keywords that are killing you and killing your budget and killing everything. You could gain, for example, if you're just reducing your ACOS from 40%, add those numbers to 30%, TACOS to half of it, 15%, or 20 to 15%, you can make 50% growth. FBA cost optimization. There's a very nice chart in there, which the FBA rate card. Everybody please Google and search this thing and see if you can fit your own product into actually a smaller category where FBA fees will be reduced. Take the product, dump the packaging and put it together, or we help you create a smaller packaging. Could be 50% growth. And when you have products that kill, the margin of the other ones, well, sorry to say, but kill your babies, your product babies. You could gain another many more % of growth. Here's the FBA rate card. Quickly jumping through, I think we can share this later. And that's one of the things that's not all of our ladies, but we're high times, we're like 63, 64. The real money is made in purchasing. And also for me here, short QR code. I'm sorry I'm rushing through but I have 10 minutes. So if you want to book a call with us, if you want to find out more, we also do sourcing trips, or if you want me down there directly as my own WhatsApp number. Let's see if I'm sorry, I have a different code in here. Just copied the slide from another one. But if you say, hey, you come here, we'll give you, for example, 10% off in the first offer. With this, I need to shut up and be quiet. I hope that was good enough information.
Very good. A lot of insight here. I love the fact that you had so many different case studies, occasions, etc. It really brings it to life, and a great presentation. Thank you for sticking to 10 minutes. I'll give it to Mr. Jack, last but definitely not least, who can guide us through his part of the presentation. And then I'll have some room for Q&A. Obviously, if people have any questions and answers, please make sure to put them in the Q&A chat below. We already have a few that have come in, so make sure you put yours nice and early. Mr. Jack, I leave it to you from ComplyZone to tell us a bit more about your presentation.
Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon and good morning to those where it's morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as they say on global webinars.
Can everybody see my screen? Is that showing up?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Amazing. So, hi everyone. Thanks for having me. My name's Jack, and I'm part of the team apart from head of growth at ComplyZone. I'm really excited to share with you how we can help you unlock faster, safer growth when expanding into the UK and the EU. Today's session is all about making compliance simple, actionable, and honestly a lot less scary than it sounds. So let's jump in. So why compliance equals faster, safer growth? When you prioritize compliance early, everything moves faster. Your goods clear customs quicker, your products get approved faster on marketplaces like Amazon and Shopify, and you immediately build trust with new customers. And you protect your brand from costly fines, removals, or reputational hits. Compliance isn't just ticking a box, it's a powerful tool for faster international growth. So, what happens if you skip compliance? Now, if compliance gets skipped or delayed, the risks pile up fast. Customs can block or even destroy non-compliant goods. Platforms can suspend or remove your listings overnight. And if something goes wrong, it can trigger recalls, heavy fines, and long-term brand damage. Honestly, fixing compliance after launch usually costs 5 to 10 times more than setting it up properly before. So, the 5 essentials for a smooth UK-EU launch. So what does good compliance actually look like? Well, first, your product needs to meet the right safety standards. Second, you need accurate labeling with the right language and legal information. Thirdly, you must appoint a responsible person or importer legally based in the UK and/or EU. Fourth, some products like toys or electronics will need CE or UKCA marks and testing. And finally, if you're in certain categories like supplements or cosmetics, you'll need market registrations before selling too. If you nail these 5 steps, you're not just compliant, you're launch ready. Now, while these 5 essentials apply to almost every product, depending on what you're selling, the specific steps can change. So let's break it down by product type. For food supplements, you need compliant formulations and labeling that meet each country's rules. You'll need a food business operator, someone legally responsible in the market. And for some EU countries, you'll need a pre-market notification. For cosmetics, you'll need to ensure your formulations are compliant with the proper testing in place, compliant labeling, and a CPSR, which is a cosmetic product safety report, a safety certificate issued by a qualified safety assessor. You'll need to register products in both the EU and UK's cosmetics portals, and you'll need a responsible person for each market too. Both categories need a little extra preparation, but once set up, they can move smoothly into the new market. And remember, most categories still sit under the GPSR regulation, which is the General Product Safety Regulation, which ensures your products are safe, properly labelled, and traceable. So toys and electronics. You'll need either CE marking for the EU or UKCA marking for the UK. You also need a responsible person legally in place, and toys must pass complete EN71 toy safety testing, especially around small parts, materials, and labelling. For electronics, similarly, you'll need a CE or UKCA marking, as well as clear electrical safety compliance. You'll need a responsible person legally in place too, and electronics must meet strict UK-EU testing standards. Across all products, the key idea is be safe, be traceable, and be ready with the right paperwork before you ship. So your market entry timeline. When should you start planning compliance? Well, we've created a rough guide for you here. So 10 to 12 weeks before launch, strategy and compliance planning, especially for highly regulated products. 8 to 10 weeks out, start product testing and prepare for the lab certifications needed. 6 to 8 weeks out, double check all of your paperwork, ingredients, specifications, certifications. 3 to 4 weeks out, final tweaks to labeling and packaging. And finally, a couple of weeks before, confirm your responsible person or importer setup. Then, when launch day comes, you're ready to go live without customs delays or compliance headaches. And the best news, you don't have to figure this out alone. At Complism, we help brands like yours unlock growth by handling compliance the smart way, so you can focus on what you do best, building and scaling your brand. Compliance isn't a blocker, it's your accelerator. Thanks very much for your time, and I'm excited to see your successes in the UK and the EU.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Jack. Interesting that I was also talking about compliance, etc. It's definitely one of the very, very, very important things when it comes to expanding to EU. So thank you very much. And a very clean presentation, I must say. Very easy to communicate important messages. So thank you very much for this. Right, we've got a few questions that have come in. So a few have already been answered. So I'm not going to get those, but let me just make a start these last 4 or 5 minutes that are left. I think this one is going to be for you, or because they say, what are the most common mistakes sellers make when opening proactive cases to Amazon?
Blaming others, that would definitely be it. I see people blaming customers for not understanding how to use the product, blaming competitors. That's the number one thing that when sellers reach out to me, hey, oh, I got suspended, I'm about to get suspended, a competitor is attacking me. Okay, I understand, I'm with you, but we don't tell that to Amazon. We don't blame the customer. We don't blame Amazon for misunderstanding. We don't blame competitors. We always take responsibility. The customer didn't understand how to use the product because we didn't explain it good enough to him. You see the difference? So it's always about shifting the narrative. He didn't use it correctly. His fault because we didn't explain it correctly. So always take responsibility, never blame others.
Got it. Understood. Understood. I think, Jack, you're still showing your screen here, but no problem. I hope people are getting the message, get expert support. Got it. Understood. I think this next one is probably for you, Stephanie, from what I'm seeing here. And it says, how can vendors avoid losing money to things like shortages or price claims?
A full avoidance is probably impossible because it will always happen, but they could try to minimize them by monitoring them, looking what shortages, what are the key products that are causing these shortages, how can they improve their logistic process, their packaging, their labeling to avoid them going forward, and being able to have the transparency and the information they need to avoid them in the future. So having a better process.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I see another one that talks about if now is a good time to still sell Chinese products in Europe. I think the best person to answer this is probably Mr. Sebastian. So what do you have to say on that one?
Well, like I said earlier before, I mean, it is a pretty good time right now also to have power lever for negotiation, simply for the fact that they are not having their typical sales. They are running wild to sell anything. So yes.
Understand. Got it. Got it. A few other ones that I see have already been answered. There were some examples of business savings here that I see, how being handled for deduction and so on. Now, if anyone has any other questions, etc., feel out to reach to the people via LinkedIn. I'm sure we're going to be able to answer any questions you have. This recording will be available later on. I've put a link to the YouTube channel where this is going to be available. And with that said, I hope everyone has taken some nice learnings from today's webinar. Thank you very much to each person here for putting together the presentation, sticking to 10 minutes and actually sharing their knowledge and breadth of knowledge. And I wish everyone the best rest of the year in front. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.